Hi everybody. So from Monotype Printmaking, the first thing you need to do is have a piece of paper. So that's a piece of paper from my sketchbook. It does have some paint on there. It's fine. That'll be the back. I'm going to take my paper and start out with a nice long hot dog fold. Fold it in half again, making sure my corners match up so my papers are straight. I am going to cut this. Make sure your thumb is on top and your fingers are not in the way. Put one inside the other. That way I don't have to spend as much time cutting. You don't have to do it this way. Move your hand back. There we go. Now I'm going to take these two papers without any of the ridges here. These are my good papers for printing. This is what I'm going to originally draw on right here. So the first step is going to be to draw based on one of your sketches. So here are my sketches that I did before, and I'm going to do the building here, the art gallery. So I'm going to start with my red, and I'm going to make my 3 arches. And then come up for the sides of the building like this. They jut out, and then we have the roof. And the roof is going off the paper. That's fine. So now I'm just going to come around with a fatter line to outline, and then I will color it in. Your directional lines are probably not going to matter on this project because we are going to be wetting this and the marker will blur as it gets wet. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is I need to draw where is the, I don't want black, whoops, dropped it, caught it. I need the back of the building. So this is a porch area, so it sticks up a little bit, so I move that line back. I'm going to put the front door right here. It has a window on top, and then we have 2 windows to either side. There we go. I need the other side of the sidewalk like this. This is an art gallery that is actually part of the workhouse, which is in Lorton, if you've ever been there. Then we have to add some grass. It has a pretty big grassy area, so I'm going to make my grass high. So I'm showing a lot of ground, especially because I want to have color in here. I don't want to have just tons and tons of empty white space. And we have some grass right here in front of the building also. I'm going to put some clouds in my sky, so I'm going to draw my cloud here, and then I'm going to color the sky and leave the cloud uncolored because my clouds are going to be white. I have never looked out into the sky and seen a white sky with blue clouds. I've seen clouds take on the color of the sunset or a sunrise, but never a blue cloud in a white sky. That might look really weird. And now to do the back side of the building here, if I color it red, you're not going to be able to see it very well. So I'm going to color it pink. As an artist, I'm making the choice to slightly change the color from red to the pink. And the reason I say only slightly is because if you think about it, how do you make the color pink? If you're saying you make pink by adding white to red, actually it's light red, that would be correct for our purposes here. Alright, there's that, and I can take my dark green and I can add some little texture for some grass here so it creates some interest. I'm also going to come back and add some bricks on my building, and then I'll be ready to print. So when I have my bricks here, bricks don't all line up one on top of the other. They are stacked a little off of one another. They're offset. So I'm just going to add a couple bricks. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing tons and tons of bricks. So that works for me. And then I'll put the black right on the edge here because that is the edge of the roof. So now my picture is done and I'm ready to get printing. So I'm going to take one of my plain pieces that don't have the torn part, and I am going to take my sponge. So I have my sponge in here. I don't want it to be dripping wet, so I'm going to squeeze a little bit out. I'm going to wet my paper. All right, it's going to curl up on you. Put my paper back here, and I'm going to line up my two bottom corners as best as I can, and then press my paper down. Now I can take my sponge, again, take most of the water out, and I can use this to rub gently, because you don't want to rip the paper by accident. And once paper gets wet, it gets kind of delicate. And you can see the picture starting to come through the paper. And once you don't have a lot of the white showing, you know that you're ready to lift it off. Alright, so now I take my two corners, and there we go. Oh, I'm not on the camera. There we go. So this is your print. You can see that it is a lot lighter. That is because it's sharing the ink, and this is only done in marker. But for the most part, I have my image. Now the wonderful thing is that when this is dry, I can take a pen and I can go back in and outline any extra details that I want to show up on there. So I will set this aside, and then I will be able to go to my second picture that I want to do. I have a little ink left over here, so I am going to take my paper towel and I'm going to make sure that that is all cleaned off before I start my next one.